We're live. Exiled Sue, can you hear me okay?
Loud and
Yeah,
clear.
man, all good.
Awesome, cool. Let's get this rolling. So hello everyone. This is Ingolandi here from Sovryn. I wanted to start this a little differently and bring up a term that I don't think is mentioned enough. So chances are, if you're here on this call, you might be a Bitcoin mutant. Now, what's a Bitcoin mutant? A Bitcoin mutant understands that Bitcoin is an evolving force of nature and that anything that clearly improves on it must be added to its arsenal. So a Bitcoin mutant is not a maximalist that blindly disparages or ignores the innovation happening on other chains and other ecosystems, nor are we aligned with the plethora of Ponzi's and scams and rug pulls that happen literally every day in the DeFi sector. A Bitcoin mutant observes the mad science laboratory that is DeFi with its accidents and unicorns and selects its most fruitful creations to augment Bitcoin's potential for decentralized finance. Because Bitcoin is our champion in the arena of global reserve currencies. So, like X-Men's Rogue, we absorb the superpowers developed from other ecosystems and make Bitcoin DeFi stronger. So, welcome, Bitcoin mutants. Thank you for joining us here. Thank you for sharing this mission. So, the guidelines are if you wish to speak, raise your hand, wait patiently, and we'll bring you on stage. And before we go through the agenda, would anyone here like to introduce themselves and say hello? Just raise your hand. Okay, so I will kick this off with governance. Exiled Surfer, would you like to carry on? Are you there?
Can't hear you, Exiled. I think you might be muted.
Sir, are you there?
Looks like we might have lost.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here. Perhaps we can start with Solbit presenting for Aurora regarding development.
Sure thing. Thanks, Inga. So yes, Aurora is away today, so won't be able to do her update. So I will be doing it instead. Hello, everybody. Lots of exciting stuff in the works, starting with SOV staking rewards. Obviously, SIP24 just passed recently. I'm sure everybody is looking forward to getting some SOV back from staking. So the reward contract is currently under review. It's going on to testnet next week. And from there, hopefully it will be a speedy process to mainnet. More updates to be coming soon. Then SOV staking and fee sharing update to exclude the vesting contract from fee sharing. Exiled, I can hear you again. Could you just mute yourself? Thanks. So excluding the vesting contracts from fee sharing, that is expected to be ready for external review next week. Once the audits have been done, that will be going out to testnet and then mainnet in due course. Limit orders. We've got a prototype for creating and executing limit orders against the AMM ready. Currently, this only works for swaps and only with ERC20 tokens, not RBTC. The next steps will be to add native currency support, so RBTC limit orders, as well as adding limit orders for margin trades, adding stop loss and take profit orders for margin trades. And I think all of those, the traders among you definitely have been requesting this for a while. So I'm particularly excited about that one. Then we have some news with perpetual swaps. We are on track and expect to be ready for testnet in September. The audit has already been scheduled, so hopefully once that is ready, it should be a smooth process to get that live. Then we're also working on a large release which upgrades several of our contracts and combines a lot of features that have been kind of on the back burner for a while. So we've got the improved divergence check. The user can set the maximum slippage he's willing to take on a trade. I think currently this is included in a couple of areas of the DApp, but this should now be more consistent across the rest of the DApp. And hopefully be a bit more user friendly. We have also been working on updates to the protocol to allow for emergency stopping in case anything goes wrong. Hopefully it won't need to be used, but it's quite an important one in the case of stuff like the hard fork upgrades that are coming soon for the RSK network. Then we also have a rollback function to revoke contract logic upgrade. This is a safety measure for after the ownership is transferred to governance in the case of any issues there. We also have trading rebates coming down the line. These specifically are SOV rewards to refund part of the trading or borrowing fees when you're making margin trades. We also have a referral or affiliate system coming up. So soon you'll be able to actually invite your friends to join Sovryn and actually earn some crypto based on their trades, which is quite exciting. So hopefully that's a good way to build the hype around the project and really introduce a lot of new people to this. Then we also have a unified vesting registry. Currently, the different types of vesting contracts are split up across a couple of different contracts, which is a little bit hard to manage. So we will be unifying those into a combined registry that will hopefully make interaction with them a lot easier for both internal and external users of the protocol. So that's all of those things are coming in a huge release sometime soon. We will give more updates on that closer to the time. Then moving on, we will be having an upgrade to the bridge. We've addressed all of the issues which were reported by users or through audits, medium severity issues. I don't believe there were any high severity issues, which is good to hear. And we're just waiting on a final audit report before we actually upgrade the bridge on mainnet. Now, what this means is specifically to shout out to some specific users. The two users who have been waiting for their stuck ETH will finally receive those. So I believe the team will be reaching out to you directly with more information on that. And we'll be announcing that once it actually goes live. Other stuff, we have deployed a V1 pool oracle for the MOC pool on mainnet. We are currently going to just observe its pricing and monitor it for any issues. We've also got a dashboard in development for improving our internal processes. This will hopefully make the Exchequer's life a bit easier when it comes to making payments for, say, payroll and other stuff that is coming or authorized from the Exchequer multi-sig. We also have upgraded to Watcher v2 on the testnet. Mainnet, we will be rolling that out at some point soon, but it's currently pending a bunch of other kind of infrastructure upgrades. One of those is actually upgrading FastBTC. Currently, we have v2 on testnet, and again, deployment to mainnet is currently pending. Then some other updates for infrastructure side of things. We have performance and stability improvements to the RSK node deployments. Obviously, I think people who have been around for a little while will have experienced some issues that we've had with the RSK nodes. So we've been doing a lot of back-end work on the infrastructure side of things there to really just give everybody a more consistent and better user experience. And then finally, in preparation of the upcoming Iris hard fork on the RSK network, we have deployed RSK nodes v3 to testnet in order to work through the migration of that. So in the days and weeks coming up to the Iris hard fork, we will be sending out some more information on that and what it means for Sovryn and obviously for the users of the Sovryn protocol. So stay tuned for that. Not only is it exciting to have an upcoming upgrade to the RSK network, I think there's actually quite a lot of new features that will be enabled by this hard fork that people will really like to see. And that's it from my side.
Awesome.
So should we
I
jump back over
see.
to
I see
myself?
one person who might have a question. I'm going to invite you to speak. Okay. If anyone has questions, I'll invite you.
There we go. There's Whipper.
Hey guys.
Dave, you go ahead first, bud.
All right, cool. Next year. Just at the very end there, you mentioned that there's a couple good changes from the Iris hard fork. Like anything in particular that you're kind of eyeing that you think is going to be a cool addition for Sovryn regarding the Iris?
So personally, I don't have too much information about that because a lot of that is actually related to stuff that would be implemented on the smart contract side. However, I know that it's definitely going to help the peg in, peg out process from BTC main chain. I believe, I think in the last community call, I think Yago went into a little bit of detail on that. But yeah, there'll be more information coming out soon. But there is definitely a lot of upgrades being made to the network with this hard fork. So lots of cool stuff in the pipeline for sure.
Just had a question with regards to limit orders. You briefly mentioned that ERC20s would come before RBTC. Just curious about that, why that is, and what sort of limitations are you guys up against, I guess, at the beginning with RBTC that doesn't allow for that to happen right away?
I can't comment too much on specifics. Just for everybody's reference, I'm one of the front end developers. Aurora or Yago would definitely be the right people to speak about that. I would imagine that ERC20 tokens are just easier to implement this for and kind of test for that.
Whipper, I think it's most probably because in the way that the smart contracts that we've been using and that we're kind of using as the base probably came from Ethereum.
Awesome. And just to be clear for everyone, these limit orders are going to happen prior to any L2 migrations, right?
Right.
Correct.
Awesome. Good work, guys. Thank you.
Yep. I might have a little more to say on that later. In terms of the Iris hard fork, from what I can recall, it's going to allow like for a better peg-in experience, and I believe allow for like the peg-in person to specify which address they want the RPDC to go to. So
yes, it will be random addresses in and out. Any address in and out will be enabled by the hard fork.
Got it. And do we have an idea? And Yago might have mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I can't remember, but like, once all the upgrades are made to the fast BTC and the Iris hard fork, like, do we kind of expect almost instantaneous peg in, peg outs, or is that kind of too big for us? Like, do we have an idea of like the scope of
what does instantaneous mean to you personally?
Okay, fair point. I'm saying like within a couple of minutes.
We can't estimate what that time is going to be until we start building it. Yes.
Fair enough.
Fast BTC is pretty fast on the way in. It's only 2 confirmations, which is pretty sweet.
Okay, let's move along to governance with Exiled Surfer.
Okay, so Solbit covered most of it, so that we're rolling out staking rewards very, very soon. We're hoping we're scheduled for the end of next week, but we don't have an exact date yet, depending on testing. And then the big thing that is coming up is also as a result of the RSK hard fork. We're looking to schedule for the following week the Babelfish sale, and then it was announced that the ISIS hard fork would be happening on a similar date. So we will probably be doing the Origins Babelfish launch the week after the hard fork, unless the hard fork is delayed by RSK. Currently scheduled for the 19th, but if it is delayed by, if it's decided to delay by RSK, then the Babelfish sale would take place prior to the hard fork, somewhere around the 18th of August. So we're going to have to look forward. It's kind of a fluid situation with that. The next thing is Solbit also covered the governance improvements that are happening, the internal dashboard for the exchequer. It's in development that has account and exchange management and 2 new multisigs based on Gnosis for the exchequer and the Guardian multisigs. Looking forward to introducing, making it easier to become and to delegate in voting in Bitocracy. SIP submission process also improving that. You see there's a forum post from John Light that is outlined the submission process. We're looking to develop a dashboard for that, a UI. And we're also having internal discussions about the length to which Bitocracy can become a standalone product along with our other smart contracts. Many of the projects that are looking to launch on Origins have expressed an interest to be utilizing the Bitocracy governance contracts for their projects. As you know, Babelfish is already planning on doing that on a URL of their own. So we're having discussions and engineering questions around Bitocracy. And then the next thing is, as you all know, Sovrynthon has ended and we've announced the prize winners. Today or tomorrow, there will be a blog post going out with links and embedded videos to all of the winners, and with the overall wrap up for Sovrynthon. We've are lucky enough to identify a number of developers that we want to continue working with based on the quality of their submissions. There's also a couple of projects that have reached out to us for grants that we intend to further mentor and support. So that's going to be happening over the next weeks. If you're a winner of one of the Sovrynthon bounties, don't forget to reach out to me personally on either in the Sovrynthon channel or directly. If you intend to further develop your product or project, please reach out to me and stay in touch so that we can see how it is that we can assist you moving forward. It's going to be about 10 days before we'll be able to do the payouts for that. Working together with Gitcoin and the exchequer to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. That's it for the governance report.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
we might have a question or two.
Okay.
So now's the moment. If you got a question, please raise your hand. Anybody out there have a question?
Well, we do see Corsario in there. That's requesting to speak.
He hasn't accepted the invite. So Corsario, if
Hello,
here you
sorry.
are.
Oh, a little fidgeting with my fingers here.
No worries.
Right. Well, big up to the Sovrynthon team. Really happy with how things are going and on the continuous updates and so forth. My question comes around here. I asked Aurora in one of the past community calls, is there going to be a way to front interest and in that way lengthen the 30-day lending contracts or borrowing contracts? Will that be enabled a way? Because I think that's probably the best use case, at least for me, to be able to borrow money in a DeFi manner and be able to perpetuate this loan by fronting interest. And well, Sovryn has a lot of liquidity, but doesn't have this term limit extended, so to speak. Is there something in the works on that?
That's definitely in the works. It should be coming out in a few sprints time. So yeah, on the borrow function, you'll be able. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Hello?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that will be enabled in the borrow part of the DApp. Especially, we'll be we're currently upgrading the interface, and we will allow you to, when you open the loan, to choose the length of the loan, and also allow you to extend the length of the loan at any point.
Well, he dropped off, so I don't
Okay,
think we need
excellent.
to.
Oh wait, he might have dropped off accidentally because he's asking to come back on.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, but I did. I heard that there's going to be an update on able to set a term, a loan term, right? The term on the loans. I mean the length.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be able to set the length at the beginning, and then once the loan has started and you're coming up to the date, you will be able to extend it before you get to the roll-off date.
Awesome. Is there an approximate ETA for this?
I would expect 2 sprints, but it depends. It depends on everything else.
On
I
the
would.
RSK hard fork and all that.
So our
no,
sprints.
it would be based on some of the other features that we're having to build out at the moment and develop.
All right. As soon as that's able, I know I'll be able to move my loans from BSC, from Binance Smart Chain, to Sovryn, which I rather prefer to do that.
Just for a point of reference, our sprints run on 2-week cycles from Wednesdays to Wednesdays. So we're talking about the earliest possible time being about 4 weeks from now, based on other development priorities. Okay, just to be clear.
Nice ballpark figure. Thank you, Surfer.
Okay, we have Spidey up if you want to accept the invite. Otherwise, let's move on to who we have next. Design with Zoo.
Hey guys, so you might not have seen so many updates coming out or any new features and stuff. That's because we've kind of not taking a break. We're working very hard on actually optimizing what we already have out, improving it, cleaning it up, and just making it easier for third-party teams to be able to come and work with us, because this is something that we are looking to have happen in the near future. This should make everything a bit more consistent as well, and it's a kind of attempt to kind of start moving away from an alpha project into something more like a beta. So other than that, we've also been doing a lot of like structural management and defining work processes across all of the different areas and different teams. So a lot of time has been put into this sprint into organizing the first part of the structure of that. We're using a management platform called Tiger now, and are moving away from GitHub. So the meaty stuff is that the reward page, where you'll be able to claim your where you currently claim your reward SOV from. Soon we'll have the liquid SOV and the fee types. We are just creating the last data points before testing, so we expect that to come out hopefully within a sprint. We are currently working on a new landing page for the DApp. This page is to until we have the account section, which I've talked about before, sorted. This will allow you to be able to be aware of all the promos, arbitrage opportunities that are happening across the DApp. As well as that, it will include some of the stats in there, like TVL, 24-hour volume, what's going on with our AMM. So a lot of the data that's already on our stats page will be integrated into this page. As well as bringing information that will be useful to you, like all the APYs and the token prices. So yeah, we're looking forward to having that. It should kind of make a more focused journey, and especially make it Sovryn a bit more straightforward or understandable for first-time users to the platform. As Solbit mentioned earlier, work is underway now. So we started designing the limit order types for the spot trading. So that's very exciting. Other than that, we've had talks with an external team that are working with us to create zero interest loans. I believe Iago talked about this in the last call. We've had quite a few meetings now with them. And we're now starting on the UX and the design with them. So that's going to be a very interesting thing for you guys. 0% loans and earn BTC. As well, Solbit mentioned that we've been working on perpetual swaps. This should kind of bring a kind of refresh to the whole of the trading interfaces, and should be very, very, very powerful. So we're looking forward to that. Like Solbit mentioned, that's looking at coming out in around September time. And lastly is the portfolio dashboard account section that we're working on, just kind of bringing everything together, making everything understandable for you, and having all of your information and data in one place and easily manageable for you. This part will and is taking the longest. This is due to the fact that this is basically where all the data endpoints are coming to, and we are still building endpoints. I believe that's pretty much it from me, Inga. By the way, what the hell happened? Where are the bars today?
I spat some bars today. They just didn't rhyme.
Ah, see.
All right, so next we have community with the GIMP.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. So first I want to go over the Sovryn wiki. So we've been looking to transition the wiki to be more public, so more people in the community can begin to contribute to it and write up their own documentation and knowledge. So for example, the other day we had somebody write a full guide to deploying a Sovryn node on a cache, and that sort of content would be quite valuable for us to have on the wiki. And generally the goal is to make it easier for people to upload that sort of stuff to the wiki. Also, the other reason for us doing that would be to enable better translations for the content that's up there now and new stuff coming out. So right now we have a team of translators that have handled specific languages like French, Spanish, German, etc. But we would probably like to have those languages translated by more people from the community. And secondly, start having other languages being translated going forward. So we've had a couple of requests from other communities. So if you speak Arabic and you think a specific resource on the wiki would be valuable to other Arabic speakers or that sort of thing, and you'd ideally like it translated, that's something we'd like people to be able to do, to get those sort of resources out easier, for better visibility. At the moment, the wiki is a fairly closed system, so we assign specific accounts permissions to write things at the moment. And I'm thinking the most likely path we'll be going down in the short term, at least, is to open parts of the wiki so anyone can come along, create an account and write there. And then if we like the content that's being created there, we can be adding those resources to the index pages and that sort of thing to make it easier for people to find on the wiki, to be more public. And I think anyone that would be contributing quite frequently and producing some really good work, I think at that point we'd either give them more permissions to write generally across the wiki and make edits, for updates coming to the DApp or the protocol and that sort of thing, and eventually hire them going forward and onboard them into the wiki team itself. Because talking of hiring, we're currently looking for a technical writer, for the wiki and in general for Sovryn. So this would be someone ideally who could onboard on a full-time basis, that would be able to produce technical documentation, on a variety of new technologies and systems we're looking to implement, as well as just general everyday updates that we'd be making to the wiki as things change a long time. So if you think you'd be able to fill this role, or if you know anyone else that could fill that role, please make yourself known to me, or we will be putting an open position up on the page on the wiki, so you can also go through the procedure listed there. Just make sure you get yourself known or anyone you know, because we do need a technical writer, another one. Something else I want to touch on is the Dojo educational series that's been going out every Friday, on the Sovryn blog. So this has had some pretty good feedback so far, especially last week's episode. For some reason, we got a ridiculous amount of feedback, positive feedback. And the next part of the series is being published tomorrow. I'd actually be interested to hear some feedback of what people thought about the series and this kind of educational content in general, because this is something we can continue, making. Sorry, doorbells just went. Cool. This is something we would probably look to continue making, more educational content in the future. So I'd like to hear the community in general's opinion about that, whether you like it, dislike it, or how it can be improved. So I'd like to hear from you either after this segment or after the MA later if we don't have enough time. And the last thing I want to touch on is generally the concerns that a lot of the community has been raising. I'm quite in touch with the community. I'm in all the channels. I manage the community managers that have been helping you guys out with technical issues and answering questions and that sort of thing. The ongoing concern that has been around for a long time has, of course, been the staking rewards being lower than expected. I think the changes for SIP24 will definitely help with that. And as part of that program as well, the other changes which I would like to not be forgot about, which I think are equally as important, I think changes like removing the vesting tokens from earning, because at the moment there's a very large amount of vesting tokens that are earning. So when you think about the difference it will make, it would actually considerably change the amount of free rewards being earned by stakers. So that's one change that I think is going to be very good. Then there's other things like the peg out to Bitcoin with fast BTC and the bridge issues and other technical improvements that, as Solbit has said earlier, these things are actively being worked on and should come out relatively soon. And then the other suggestion that I see a lot from people is, for greater marketing and to get the Sovryn name out there. So we've actually been working very hard in this area recently, preparing for a lot of things to come. The survey that went out recently was a part of that, getting your guys' opinions. So now might actually be a perfect time to hand back over to Exiled Surfer for the adoption update to talk over that.
Hey, thanks, Gimp. That was awesome. So yeah, as the Gimp mentioned, it's not that we haven't been working or that we haven't been listening to the community, the concerns that they raise across all of our products and also all of the teams. We're working together with some external contractors that are providing analysis and started with this community survey. We're looking into competitor analysis. We're looking at not only the products that they're offering, but how it is that they do onboarding and how it is that Sovryn compares to that. We're formulating that all together into a big beat roadmap. So, as you know, there's been a transition with Slider having departed, and we're rebuilding the team. So we're looking for A players to be joining the adoption and marketing team. We have open positions on the wiki. Feel free to reach out to us or to be recommending people that you think that could be filling these roles that we have open. We really appreciate the feedback that we've gotten from the audience survey. It helps us to understand what's working and also where it is that we need to be paying closer attention, and also how to prioritize going forward. We really appreciate this input. If you haven't already completed our survey, we'll be posting a link in the general channel for you to give us additional feedback. So moving forward to immediately in the next 2 sprints, while it is that we're putting together process and building the team, we have a couple of big beats that are happening, as we're calling them. So with the pulses that we're setting our communications to over the next quarter, and the first one is obviously the Babelfish Origins launch. I mentioned earlier that the scheduling is kind of fluid on that. That's going to be a large piece of promotion that we're working together in sync with Dark Knight on the Babelfish team and also with the RSK team for a synchronized message. This will be a little bit more unique than the promotions and marketing that we've done in the past because we're gathering marshaling our forces, so to speak, to have a unified message. The next beat or pulse that's coming up is, as Solbit mentioned, the technical implementations of the affiliate and referral program is coming up very, very soon. This leads on to another sort of a move from one of our contributors, Luca, who came up through the Blockchain Dojo and became one of our community managers, is now also going to be moving into the adoption team to be the lead for our affiliate and referral program. So look forward to hearing from his work. He's provided us with amazing outlines and experience already. So we're looking to integrate him into the team and set him out into the world to sell our products. So shout out to Luca, man. Proud to see the progress that you've made, and it's going to be awesome having you part of this team. And then the next big pulse that you guys have been hearing about for a long time is the version 2 website. The designs are done. We've been spending basically the last 3 weeks together with external contributors going through the copy, optimizing the copy. We've been refining the message and defining the specific products and taglines, descriptive content for the website. In the same way that Sue is talking about the landing page for the DApp, the landing page for our website will be much more refined and have calls to action and direct links into the application that we hope will also increase usage. It's also been SEO optimized and is tied in with the research that we're doing so that we can continue to iterate forward with the language. I also want to take the opportunity to thank Fineline for all the work that she's been putting in for months on moving this forward through this transition period and hoping every day to be able to release it. But we're just basically tying up the loose ends now and unifying our communication to move forward. And that would be the end of the adoption report for me. If anybody has any questions, it'll be the time. Otherwise, we'll move over to Englandia with business development.
Yeah, we got one guy. Phonics, would you like to ask a question? I don't hear you. Does anybody else hear him?
No, I can't hear him either.
All right, Phonics, you might have to fix your microphone.
Or you might just need to unmute.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this person. Okay, so I will move along with business development updates.
I see that Mickey Maller has his hand
I know.
up. Do you
I
want-
sent him an invite. He hasn't accepted
Okay.
yet.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when you raise your hands, I send you an invite. You have to accept the invite to get on stage. Just a quick note. Alrighty, so business development. We've got Transact working to raise the limits for fiat to crypto. They're waiting on us to update the website and make the crypto purchase button more prominent. And yeah, they're willing to work to raise the limit from a few $100s to more than that, as well as offer the direct purchase of RBTC with fiat. So we are also exploring other potential fiat off ramps, which would require a third party to handle bank transfers for those who wish to do that. We're also meeting with DeFi aggregators for the adoption of Sovryn in their interface and thus the rootstock chain. So I don't know if you guys have used those aggregators that have like the whole, like all of the DeFi platforms, Maker, Compound, Aave on the protocol, and like you just switch the chain to whatever you want and offering that. So yeah, my new directive is to speak with those platforms and see if we can get Sovryn/rootstock added on there. We've pivoted from developing Sovryn on Arbitrum, but Sovryn on a rollup will resume development towards the end of the year. And as some of you may know, we have grown quite fond of Covalent, an API project that brings visibility to the data points of multiple blockchains. And over the past couple months, we've had a few hackathon bounties put out utilizing their API. It has improved the quality of life for Sovryn's developers. So you can all expect to see a partnership happening between Sovryn and Covalent very soon. So that's it for updates on my end. I know I'm vague, but I like to I don't talk things up until things are signed and solidified. So that's the best I can offer in terms of details. Does anyone else have questions? Okay. All right. Well,
I just like to add to that. So, so often it seems like the community is waiting for information and doesn't have the impression that things are happening. But again, I'd like to echo Ingemar's sentiment that we really like to make sure that we have things very, very solid before it is that we announce them. And so oftentimes work is happening simultaneously and the announcements come very, very shortly before it is that we actually deploy things. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening, guys.
So we got Victor up on stage. You may need to fix your microphone because we can't hear you at the moment.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's good.
Excellent. Look, I just wanted to say I'll keep to the guidelines about not overexciting folks on some of the discussions that you're having. But I do want to say that this has been a very responsive team, whether it's in the forums or for business development, everything else. I very much appreciate the fact that there is engagement, there is a responsiveness, and just all the communication we had today has been tremendous. So I wanted to acknowledge that in the public forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
So much.
Yeah, Victor has helped us with one of our directives recently. So shout outs to you, my friend. Do we have any other questions?
Hey guys,
David.
it's Dave again. Yeah, I mean, I just want to kind of echo what Victor said. I mean, I think in all the calls that I've been on, top to bottom, all of you guys Zoo, Solbit, GIMP, Englandia, Exile. That was probably one of the best updates that we've heard. And I personally have also kind of naively fallen in that trap of, wow, the forums are blank, nothing's going on, and kind of questioning what's happening on the back end. And I just want to applaud you guys and say, great job, and thank you for all that. So with that said, I did have one question that didn't necessarily, I don't think directly got covered is, are we still looking at putting the fees on swaps and taking a percentage of that and potentially allocating it to the sovereign stakers? I don't know if that got specifically mentioned.
Yes, it's definitely happening, and we're also looking to take a portion of that actually for the Sovryn protocol itself. So look forward to the actual mathematics of that, what the division would be, but that is coming. There's no question about the fact that fees are coming to stakers.
Perfect. And then another kind of off-topic question, but potentially on topic, is this past week, a lot of the stuff in the US, all the SEC announcements and kind of potential regulation. And on one hand, it's like, hey, we're DeFi, who cares? Or on the other hand, was that even discussed internally in the community where people are like, okay, cool, what's going on here? Or is it just like, hey, whatever, keep building, we're decentralized, nobody's even fazed by it? I'm curious what, if any, reaction the team had to that, despite, I think, a lot of you guys not even being in the US.
I can give you, well, don't forget, I'm still an American citizen. And we have multiple American citizens, in the contributor team. No, it hasn't left us cold, and we are discussing it. Specifically, when the stablecoin announcement that they're looking to regulate stablecoins came out, I reached out to both Yago and to Dark Knight, and I said, okay, guys, we need to be unified on how it is that we're approaching launching a stablecoin. A token for a stablecoin here. So we are having those sort of discussions in the market, and how these things affect us. My personal opinion of this is, I'm looking for the regulators to basically kill all of our competition, so to speak. I mean, Sovryn is is set up as an adversarial system that is negotiating the landscape and offering an alternative to permissioned custodial exchanges, right? And so from my reading of what's happening in the States is there's a number of so Gensler, Pierce, they're making conflicting statements. The SEC is, saying one thing, the CFTC is saying another thing. Politicians are taking positions. It's not really exactly clear what it is that's going to be happening, and I think it's going to be taking a lot of time before this shakes out and we see how it's going to be affecting the landscape. But essentially, we're positioning ourselves to be an alternative to regulatable exchanges. So I've always been of the opinion that that crypto can only be regulated at the edge of the networks where it is that it intersects with fiat. And essentially, the Sovryn protocol doesn't intersect with fiat. Some of our third-party providers like Transact does. So we're positioned in a place that's not really regulatable, so to speak, is my personal opinion about this. Does that give you any sort of clarity, David?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's a good perspective. We'll just see how it plays out. I just want to make sure that you guys were aware of it and discussing, and that's awesome. So again, top to bottom, thanks everyone, and great call so far.
Let me speak to one more point that you raised. So in terms of the forum, so I do feel that we're not involved in the forum enough. You guys put a lot of effort into writing in the forum, and we have a lot of sort of very short contact that happens across Twitter or Discord or Telegram, and I'd like to see myself more activity in the forum from our team members. If you don't see it, it's really because people are booked out all day long with communications and with work. Yeah, so I'm hoping to see that improve as well.
Definitely appreciate it.
All right, excellent. Do we have any closing remarks from anyone or questions from our audience before
Please, I want to speak. Can I?
go for it, Mickey.
There's Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Mickey Moly here. I didn't introduce myself yet, so hello. I am the Sovryn Dojo writer and also contributor to the Sovryn wiki. And I just want to add something to the game speech he just did, or maybe he did 1 hour ago. And I want to make my own kind of Oscar speech right now. So I am the author of the series, and I really hope you like reading it. And please do let me know what you would like to change or add. And I would love to also to thank so much to Mr. John Light for his Bitcoin Guru suggestions and recommendation, since he basically changes my content directly under my hands, which is awesome. Thanks so much to Bitnim for another round of review and awesome suggestions regarding the tech and the language. Then thank you so much to Gim for applying his Uber Oxford English on my content and does the publications. Dude, you rules. And thank you so much to Tsu, Fineline, and Danu Bastidas for the awesome pictures and complete sovereignization of the dojo content, guys. You rocks. And this is my dream came true. I'm so glad that this project, which I was, developing for 3 years, now see the light of this world. And please do let me know like any kind of feedbacks, questions, suggestions. And thank you so much to Franklin, who unfortunately leaving the Sovryn team, for taking over the helping hands and the love protocol, which will be a way when team members can, kind of appreciate and help other members or community members out of the Sovryn payroll. So thank you so much for that. That's all.
Cool. Lupin, do you have something that you wanted to ask or to say? You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's trying to say anything. I'm moving you back to the audience. Do we have any final questions before I close out? Okay, so I'll close this out a little bit early.
But we get bars next community call, right?
Well, if there's demands, we'll see.
I think there is.
Bars. What are bars, Sue? What am I?
He spits bars at the beginning of the call, isn't it?
Okay, you mean like rhymes?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, wait. We got somebody raising their hand. I see here. You can go ahead and end the call, and we can continue.
Sure. So thanks everyone for joining this call. Your support makes all the hard work worthwhile. Who we are is a collective carving out a trail for financial freedom, dismantling what people know and understand about money. So help us spread the word and create more sovereign individuals. If you guys like, you can hang here. We also have the lounge room if you want to hang out past this call. So take care, everyone. I do have to run. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, if anyone wants to stick about, it's probably best to go into the lounge because then you can all kind of talk.